Gone with the Wind is a 1939 American epic historical romance film adapted from the 1936 novel by Margaret Mitchell. The film was produced by David Selznick of Selznick International Pictures and directed by Victor Fleming. Set in the American South against the backdrop of the American Civil War and the Reconstruction era, the film tells the story of Scarlett O'Hara, portrayed by Vivien Leigh, the strong-willed daughter of a Georgia plantation owner, following her romantic pursuit of Ashley Wilkes, played by Leslie Howard, who is married to his cousin, Melanie Hamilton, portrayed by Olivia de Havilland, and her subsequent marriage to Rhett Butler, played by Gable. There have been a vast number of collectibles made in celebration of this movie, but for today, we're going to show you several music boxes produced in the late 1990s and early 2000s made by the San Francisco Music Box Shop. Additionally, we're going to share with you some intriguing stories and fun facts pertaining to the movie. So keep it right here on History and Relics. The sweeping Southern classic Gone with the Wind was a blockbuster hit in 1939 and the winner of that year's Academy Award for Best Picture, the first color movie to do so. It was the highest grossing film for a quarter century after it was released and is still considered to be a classic example of a cinematic masterpiece. A film as big as this one was naturally encountered some obstacles and challenges with filming, production, and beyond. Let's look now at some fun facts from the filming of Gone with the Wind. Although the spectacular scene of the burning of Atlanta appeared later in the film, it was the very first scene shot for Gone with the Wind. All the old studio sets, including the set from 1933's King Kong, were sprayed with kerosene and set ablaze. The producer, David Selznick, had one chance only to film the inferno. Reshooting the scene would have been extremely expensive and time-consuming. Selznick wanted the scene that takes place after the battle to show the utter devastation of the Southern troops and the terrible suffering of the wounded. He initially wanted 2,500 extras to portray the dead and dying Confederate soldiers. The problem was, at the time, there weren't that many members of the Screen Actors Guild. There were only about 1,500 extras to be had. So, to make up for the rest, Selznick used about 1,000 realistic-looking dummies. In segregated Hollywood in the 1930s, both Clark Gable and Hattie McDaniel were good friends and were known for their humor, which is what drew them together in the first place. They even enjoyed pranking each other while on set. However, the fact that Hattie McDaniel would be unable to attend the premiere in racially segregated Atlanta outraged Clark Gable, so much so that he threatened to boycott the premiere unless she could attend. He later relented when she convinced him to go. McDaniel went on to become the first African-American actress to win an Academy Award when she won the Supporting Actress Oscar for her portrayal of Mammy. Speaking of Hattie McDaniel and her role as Mammy, here are two of our San Francisco music boxes featuring Mammy. The first showcases her with Scarlett, getting assistance with lacing her dress, and the second is with Rhett, where they're sharing a drink together. Behind our music boxes are a pair of collector's plates from around 1990 entitled Mammy Lacing Scarlett and a Toast to Bonnie Blue. The plates were parts of a series of collector's plates based on the movie. The one with Mammy and Rhett also commemorated the film's 50th anniversary at the time. The San Francisco Music Box Company was founded in 1978 and became one of the largest retailers of musical gifts in the world. The first store was opened on San Francisco's Pier 39 boardwalk and became the flagship store for a chain that featured over 300 stores in almost every mall in the United States and Canada. All of their products include award-winning designs in water globes, figurines, carousels, and Italian inlaid wood music boxes. Every item from San Francisco Music Box Company is musical and features either an 18-note movement or a long-playing electric chip. The music in all the music boxes that we're featuring today is entitled Terrace Theme. So let's take a listen, and then we'll get back to more fun facts. In one scene of the movie, Clark Gable's character, Rhett, learns that Scarlett has miscarried their child after falling down the stairs, a fall that may have been Rhett's fault. Selznick wanted the news to reduce Rhett to tears, but Gable refused to cry on scene. He had a reputation for being a macho Hollywood actor, and he thought his masculine image would suffer if his fans saw him crying. In fact, he almost quit over the issue. Selznick finally offered to do two versions of the scene, one with Rhett crying and the other in which he turns away in sorrow. Gable later agreed that the crying scene was more emotionally powerful. Not to mention, he also got a $50,000 signing bonus to play the role, beating out Gary Cooper, Errol Flynn, and Ron Coleman. Here's another of our music boxes, this time featuring Rhett, and behind him, another of our collector's plates from 1991, a first issue plate entitled Marry Me, Scarlett. Clark Gable was married at the time to Maria Langen, a wealthy Texas socialite. He was, however, deep into an affair with actress Carole Lombard. During the filming of Gone with the Wind, the studio helped Gable get a quickie divorce from Langen so he could elope with Carole Lombard. Carole Lombard was also one of over 1,400 actresses considered for the female lead role of Scarlett O'Hara, but the role went to Vivien Leigh, which also won the approval of author Margaret Mitchell. Other notable actresses that were considered for the leading lady's role were Bette Davis, Joan Crawford, Lana Turner, Barbara Stanwyck, Katharine Hepburn, and Lucille Ball. And speaking of other well-known actresses, Judy Garland was the first choice to play Scarlett's kid sister, Corinne, but she was already committed to doing The Wizard of Oz at the time, and we all know how successful she was there. Actress Vivien Leigh didn't enjoy kissing Clark Gable because she claimed his dentures smelled bad. Well, perhaps it wasn't that, but maybe something else. Both Clark Gable and Vivien Leigh were heavy smokers. It was reported that Vivien smoked about 4 packs of cigarettes a day during the filming of the movie, while Clark Gable was right behind her, averaging 3 packs a day. The last of her music boxes features Scarlett once more. This time she's getting ready to go out and tying on her green bonnet. This also includes the Marry Me Scarlett plate, while Rhett looks on. One of the most famous lines in the movie was Rhett's iconic line, well, you know the one.
Rhett, you go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
The word damn had to be approved by censors. Selznick convinced censors that if Rhett said, my dear, I don't care, it would make a mockery of the suffering and emotional entanglements, not to mention wouldn't have the same dramatic impact on Rhett's final exit. Selznick got permission to use the word. However, he was still given a $5,000 fine for violating the Hays Code, which prohibited profanity of any kind, even though the controversial word was used in several silent films and talkies and before it was used in Gone with the Wind. One such silent film it was used in was Cavalcade in 1933, a year before the Hays Code went into effect. Estimates for Gone with the Wind's adjusted gross worldwide ticket sales have varied substantially over the years and depending upon what source you use. However, it's very safe to say that when adjusted for inflation, this 1939 film tops all other movies ever made, period. And speaking of money, Clark Gable was paid over $120,000 for about 71 days worth of work. That's over $2.5 million today, while Vivien Leigh received less than a quarter of that at $25,000 for 125 days of work. This is one of our favorite classic movies of all time as well, and we're certainly glad to be able to share with you these beautiful music boxes and collector's plates, as well as share with you these interesting facts about the movie. Now we know that some of you may not have seen this movie before, but we certainly encourage you to do so. Well, you'll need about 4 hours of time, maybe 2 boxes of popcorn, a couple of drinks, not to mention an intermission or two, but it's well worth it in the end. As far as the San Francisco Music Box Company, they no longer operate their own independent stores, but rather their great products are now featured in quality retail stores across the U.S., Canada, as well as Europe and Australia. They can also be found at www.sanfranciscomusicbox.com.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed our program. If you like our content, we ask that you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It costs nothing but means a lot to us and keeps us growing. You may also leave us a tip if you choose. A link is provided here on your screen as well as in the description area below. And until next time, everyone, this one is history.